Can everyone hear me?
Yes. Good morning.
Okay. How are all of our friends doing this morning? Hi Paula. Hi Jackie.
Hi.
So this is what I have for today. Lots of books. Trying to keep myself sane and focused. I don't know about you guys, but it's a different world out there if you didn't know it. What have you noticed in your business?
And did everybody lose Janine's picture?
Yeah, she's frozen for me. I can hear her though.
Okay,
I can hear you, Janine, but we can't see you.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. Could be my internet. Is it better now?
Well, you're frozen.
Yeah, but I can hear you still.
We can hear you though.
All right, let me into another room.
That's the worst part of working from home, is having to be the tech person.
Could you shut that? Okay. All right, can you see me now?
You're frozen yet.
Choppy.
Weird. Do you guys want to text me and we can just do a speakerphone? Well, no, wait.
We can hear you fine, so just know that we can't see you.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. I'll just proceed normal. So, first of all, how are you all doing? Let's start there. Good?
Oh, there you are. Things are good in my world a little bit. I had my listing on my condo fell through 4 days before they were closing because the buyers did not lock in to, they were getting a VA loan and the condo had to get VA approved. And so between the time that it took to get the condo VA approved, the rates went up and they couldn't get the rates that they had in the contract.
Shoot.
And so they had to walk away. And so we put it up again and I've got somebody circling. So hopefully that will happen.
Okay.
And so, and then last week I had somebody look at a place and they've put an offer on and it got accepted. But it was crazy because it went on at 1 o'clock. We saw it at 4 o'clock. I got home, called the listing agent, and we were the 16th group to go through the place. Multiple offers. It was $289 and we, my client put in $300 and we won.
Wow.
We had inspection yesterday, which was weird because I didn't go to it because I didn't. And we've got some big issues that we're going to have to work through.
And when was this offer put into place? What day was this?
Say that again.
When was your offer put into place?
Last week.
Last week. Okay. Yep. So a big difference between last week and this week, I think.
Right.
Yep. So how about the rest of you? Paul, what's going on with you, hon?
I have a listing that I have an accepted offer, like the second accepted offer, because the first one I had to get the buyers, or the buyers wanted out. So we finally had an accepted offer, a second accepted offer. And when this whole coronavirus came out, the buyer wanted to push closing a month and a half out. And the sellers were like, is he going to pay a month and a half of holding costs or what? And he kept saying, no, 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 I'm not paying for anything extra. So after talking to a few agents and finally spoke with Kimi was like, why don't you have your sellers call the lender company and see if they can, like push payments because of this whole coronavirus. And a lot of lenders are actually letting you not pay for 2 to 3 months. You still have to pay it, but they're letting you not have to pay right now. And then why don't you ask the buyer to put in more money for earnest money, and then so that he has more skin in the game. And then I said, how can I make sure that we close on June 1st? And she said, have them put more earnest money, and then in the amendment, just put in there that if you guys don't close June 1st, that seller keeps the whole earnest. And he signed it. So now we have $4,000. He did. So now we have a $4,000, earnest money. So he's got more skin in the game. So he better close on June 1st, because if he doesn't, then we keep the money.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. I like that. How about you, Jackie? Anything going on with you?
So I just started my top 5. So I'm getting my contacts together, and I am coming out with an outline for buyer consultation.
Love that, because you just got your license, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I was reading through, different books is, number one, we can't control the market, but we can control our outlook and our response to the market. So there are 3 kinds or types of people who really prevail when this market shift happens. And first is to be the first kind of person is the one that is very matter of fact. They fearfully predict the worst and are unnecessarily pessimistic. Well, you don't want to be that person that is like, this is nothing, we'll get over this. Yes, I do believe that, but we also have to be realistic. Second are those who hopefully wish for the best and believe they can't fail and are unrealistically positive. And third, those who respect the fact that they might fail, and then they prepare for the worst and they strive for the best. So let's all strive to be number 3, that we might fail, but we're going to actively prepare for the worst and strive for the best. So how do we actively prepare for the worst? What's one thing that you can do to prepare? Anyone have any ideas?
Knowing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to explain that to your people.
Right. Absolutely. Anyone else?
Having the infrastructure, making sure that those top 5s of launch and making sure that your underpinning is all, that's what I've been trying to work on, getting it all done so that like the Keller Williams app, working on that new technology that, Brad talked about yesterday, getting all that done so that when we are out of this time period, we can run.
Right. Absolutely. I think one of the things too is stop doing what does not work and figure out what works. So looking at your past, if you have a past, what has not been working for you? And eliminate that and figure out what works for you. And when you're reaching out to people at this point in time, why would they want to contact you in this market? Why would anyone want to contact you? And what would they get if they did contact you? So think about that. So why would somebody that is not your client right now contact you? And what would you say? what would they learn from you? And you have to be prepared for that. So one of the questions is, I am so afraid of this market and this pandemic right now. I don't know if this is a good time to put my house on the market. What's one of the first things that you should find out if they ask you that question? Is it necessary right now? Do you have to move right now, right? It would definitely be a first. So if it's not necessary right now, it is necessary for us to keep in touch with all of these people. So my lead generation has not changed. Actually, it's giving me more time to do that. Reaching out to every single person that I know. And even though this might not be the best time to for them to physically put their house on the market, or maybe they don't actively want to look for houses right now, the best thing to do is to keep in touch with every single person in your database, past, present, and future people. When this does pass and you do start to reach out, it is really that you've had a conversation during this time versus when it starts to get better. So in a dream world, when this all passes, what exactly are you looking for? And what is your time frame? If you're thinking about putting your house on the market, why are you putting it on the market? What is your motivation? And keep in touch with them for the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I mean, we don't know. But now is the time to really dig deep into your database and pick up the phone and call people and just say, I'm checking in on you. How are you doing? Is there anything that I can help you with? And come from contribution and, being authentic, I think is really super important right now. Any thoughts on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that, you go ahead.
Just in being creative on different ways to work with people that have nothing to do with real estate, but have to do that you're caring, that you care. There's in my neighborhood, there's a real estate agent that knows everything and everybody knows him. And so I wasn't going to even begin to farm my neighborhood because of that, because he's so well known.
Right.
But it's interesting. We have a lot of young kids in our neighborhood now. And so I started this game of, there's so many families walking around in our neighborhood that I did like an animal map, treasure map, and gave people from our Facebook page, those that wanted to participate, I sent them a picture of an animal that they posted at their house. So everybody's walking around the neighborhood with a map, looking to find all 15 animals. And we're going to do a different game every week. But I've sent them to, if they wanted to participate, I sent them to my Keller Williams email address, to get the JPEG of the animal. And I've ended up having so many conversations with people about just this time, but then they're like, oh, you're a Keller Williams agent. That's kind of cool. Tell me about that. So it's ended up having conversations, even though it's tangentially to real estate. That makes sense.
I like that a lot. That's a great idea. Very, very creative, Annie. I was just looking through some of my notes from different trainings and family reunions, and one of the things that stood out to me is this phrase: I ask for business and not be attached to the answer. The more I asked, the more I got. Go all out. That is so important, because I think number one, we're afraid to ask for the business. And then we become really attached to the answer. If you just get really used to asking for business moving forward and not be attached to what they say, it becomes so much easier in your everyday life. Don't care about what their answer is going to be. Care that you are feeling a lot more comfortable just asking that question all the time. And your numbers, of course, are going to go way up because you're asking these questions and you're not really attached to them. So that's one thing that I'm going to put in front of me as, you know, we progress through this crazy market is people are going to be reaching out to you, and you should be reaching out to them and asking for their business. It doesn't mean it has to be today, but asking for their business and listening to their answer and then keeping in front of these people, because I do think that once this subsides, I think we're all going to be extremely busy. People are being pent up. They're not looking at homes. People aren't putting their houses on the market. And when the floodgates open, we're going to be slammed. So really practice asking for the business and not being attached to the outcome. Just ask for it. Every phone call that you have, you know, hey, is there anything I can help you with today as you're checking in with your database, and ask them for business. You know, I know that this is a really uncertain time right now. Do you guys know of anyone that was thinking about putting their house on the market that I could perhaps touch base with in the future? It doesn't have to be right now, but in the future. And keep a list of all those people, all those contacts. You know, people have a lot of time on their hands right now. So I think that honestly, people are going to be thinking about, I am cleaning out my closets. I'm getting rid of all this stuff. When this passes, I'm going to put my house on the market. Things have changed for us, bad, good, or indifferent, right? And, you know, maybe their priorities have changed. So I think we are going to see a huge surge. I'm hoping so anyway. Any thoughts on that?
I totally agree with you, because I think, when else do you as a family live together in a house? Usually it's running back and forth, and you know, on the weekends, rarely in my house is everybody home. Well, we're here, and we're really here, and we're seeing all the great things about this house and the things that are hard about this house. And so we're talking about the space. Is this space working? And so
Right.
I think that conversation is happening in a lot of households.
Jackie. I see Jackie there. So I'm going to go back to customer service, because I think this is really important for you to remember. If you want to make more money, the number one thing to make more money is to give better service. Number one. Number two, you need to be a good listener. You have to be a good listener. Number three, make your customers feel important. It's huge. Number four, customers buy good feelings and solutions to problems. So when you're sitting with them at a buyer consult or just showing them a house, you just met them for the first time, they want to feel important. They want solutions to their problems, and they want to feel good when they're around you. When you're communicating with them, number five is to be sincere. They will know whether you are sincere or not, and people want to deal with people who are sincere. Number six, help customers understand the entire process, not just your systems of how a real estate transaction takes place. That's great that we all have systems, but what is your process? And this is a really good one. Number seven, never hang up or end a conversation with your client without saying, this is what's going to happen next. I forget to do that myself. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, depending on, you know, especially with the C client in the DIS profile, if I don't spell out what's going to happen next, they're going to be reaching out to me and asking what happens next. So when I end a conversation, I always say, or try to say, all right, so now that home inspection has been completed, this is what happens next. And then you know, have a time that you're going to reconnect with each other. So there's never a doubt of what's going on. You have the system in place. Know when to apologize when something goes wrong. That's huge. You don't and you will not always be right. And if you're wrong, apologize for it. You know, you're human, and to come across as always being right is never gonna make you win the game. Look for ways to make doing business with you very easy, number 9. So you want to make this seem very easy and not difficult. So when you're dealing with writing a complicated offer or a home inspection amendment or anything that comes up on their financing, you want to have the solutions. And if you don't have the solutions, you're going to ask someone for help and find out. But you want to be that person that, oh, she didn't know the answer right away, but she's going to find out. She has the solutions. Paula has the solutions, and I can trust her. And then number 10, give feedback weekly, if not more. So if you're working with someone and it's a buyer and you're out there, you know, showing homes and you still haven't found anything, you're probably going to be in constant contact with them anyway, but maybe just have a weekly huddle of, all right, guys, we've looked at X, Y, and Z properties the past couple weeks. Let's reprioritize and put our heads together this week so we can move forward in finding you something that your dream house. So if you're a listing agent, hi guys, this is what's going on this week. This is how many showings you have. Here's the feedback. Let's talk about this past week's activity and how we want to move forward. I mean, bottom line is keep in front of everyone that you have. It's more important now than ever. The more that you communicate, the more you can control emotions. So when you don't communicate, that's when emotions start to boil up on your client side. They don't hear from you, they get angry. And that takes you back to always giving that wow factor and going the extra mile. So how can you give a wow experience? So what I like to do is at the end of the week, myself and Jordan, our assistant, she actually goes down every Friday and lists the wow factors, the wow experiences that she has given to clients. And it doesn't have to be extraordinary. It can be something very small. But you want to set yourself apart. So what is an example of a wow experience? So, you know, what I've been doing lately for my sellers is that when I have their first open house, I stop at Sendix, I get some flowers, and I bring them to the open house and I leave them there. I cannot tell you how many people have commented on that. Just ridiculous. If I know that a family I'm working with has little kids, I'll stop at the dollar store and bring like a couple coloring books or something to keep them occupied. That's a wow experience. You can get a bunch of that stuff and put them in your car and be prepared. So what is it that you want to do, and how are you going to give your clients a wow experience? And it doesn't have to be, you know, necessarily financial, but you could give back by just giving them a phone call every day. Think about what that looks like for you. Any thoughts on that? So quiet. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Janine.
Okay, good. All right, good. All right, let me get to my other book. Have any of you heard of Jeff Glover? No? Okay. He is a real estate agent out of Michigan, has a very large team. And he's got some really great breakthroughs that I thought was really important. I'm going to make sure you can all hear me because I think you're all frozen.
Sometimes you're cutting in a little bit.
What's that?
Once in a while, you cut in and out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
Are
can you
you there?
repeat the name of Jeff?
Yeah, I'm going to try to go to another room. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm right on my internet box, so hold on. Can I change places with you? I'm moving my husband around. Hi.
Hi.
Any better? Gosh.
It's nice that we're getting a tour of your home.
Well, I don't know if that's nice or not. Okay, so can you hear me at least? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. So let me just get to my, so this is a hand, okay, so this is one thing. Without strong motivation, it is not a strong appointment. If you aren't going to use the time to find a better appointment by prospecting, go on the appointment. And I'm talking about listing presentations and buyer presentations. If everything about your presentation should be about the buyer or seller. Does that make sense? So I think what I'm saying is that people want to talk about themselves and where they're at. They're interested in what you have to offer, but to be a better listener than a better talker. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I think we've lost her. Can any of you guys see her or hear her?
No, not anymore.
No, I can't either.
Okay, lost you. You there?
Janine?
Yeah.
Hello?
We can't see you at all, and we could hardly hear you.
Okay, gosh, you guys, I don't know. I've been on Zoom all week and I have not had a problem. It's so bizarre.
How many people in your household are using the internet right now?
No one.
Hmm.
Just me. Which is really bizarre. Can you hear me?
A little choppy, but yeah.
All right. All right, I think what we'll do is we'll end this, but if I can hear me, I'm going to give you guys 5 things to implement right away in this market. So Number one is always treat your schedule like a CEO. So really schedule. This is really super important because if not, the hours are just going to blur. And some of you have kids at home and a lot of things going on. If you can keep to a schedule and, you know, dedicate how many hours to the day of business, then keep to a schedule. Do a weekly schedule right now for the end of this week and next week and stick to it. So depending on what's going on in your life and how many kids you have at home, everyone's schedule is going to be a little different. But that's number one priority. That's what I've been doing because I could be on my laptop all day and not get a whole lot done. So I have to really prioritize. Number two, and this one's, you know, block out all negativity. So in our family right now, we have no news during the day. We just block it out. We don't have it on in the background. We turn it on once a day for an hour and then we're done. It doesn't help anyone. We know what's going on. We're staying inside, but we're limiting the negativity. Get and take a drive, take a walk, but get rid of the negative as much as you can. Number three is to make a point to call potential clients every day. So give yourself a number of what that would be. Is it 5? Is it 10? Is it 3? Whatever it is, stick to it. So give yourself a number, have a plan of who you're going to call, and call those people and just check in with them. That's it. Keep looking at the expired listings. You know, keep track of that every single day. See who has expired and watch the ones that are going in withdrawn. We can't call the withdrawn listings, but you can pretty much, if they're withdrawing from the market right now, it's because of this virus and they're going to get back on the market. So if you're working with buyers, it's a good idea to really look into the withdrawn, knowing that when things amp up, those properties are going to go back on the market. And, you know, another thing too is I have found I call people the same time every day. So what is the best opportunity that you're going to get a hold of people? Now it's probably all day. But for me, there are better times than others. I call the same time every morning, like from 10:30 to noon. I have high energy then. I can call all my people and just see how they're doing. And those are the things that you guys can do right away. Create a schedule, stick to it, block out the negativity, get outside, take a walk, get in your car, make a point to call your clients every day. Look at the expireds and withdrawns. Call at the same time every day if you can, and stick to your schedule. I don't know if you guys have this app, but it's called the Calm app. But somebody just told me about it a couple of weeks ago. It's really great just to ease your mind. If you have kids, there's things for kids on there. But just, you know, keep moving along and get into the books that you've always wanted to read. I'm going to go grab a book. I'll be right back. That has been really helpful to me. Hold on. Okay. And this really has nothing to do with real estate, but somebody gave this to me a long time ago and has coffee stains all over it. And basically, it's the best system for achieving anything that you want. So it's taking 100% of responsibility for your life. And it talks about how you can't change circumstances, but you can change yourself. So I thought this was interesting. 99% of all failures come from people who have a habit of making excuses. So this is amazing, and it really digs into the why behind everything that you do. And it talks about your goals. Very simple. It's Jack Canfield. He's the co-creator of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And the book is called The Success Principles, How to Get from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. My favorite book. One of the takeaways that I did right away is I made in a little note card my top 3 goals. And I carry them around with me in my backpack. You're supposed to look at your goals 3 times a day. Mine are just very 3 solid goals. And I look at them in the morning, I look at them in the afternoon, I carry it with me, and then I look at it again at night. And I've been doing about 3.5 years. I can't tell you how much just in that alone has helped me. I'm looking at every single day. And this book it's such a great read. And in this time of what's going on, I think it's to anybody and everybody. So if you can get it on Amazon, I highly recommend it. That's what I have today, folks. I'm sorry that our connection was so horrible.
Thank you, Janine.
All right.
Thank you.
Call me if you need anything. I'm here.
Thank you.
Not going anywhere. All right. Bye.